Welcome to my show. I'm with a guest here. Her name is Lussia Kiprono. Lucia, how are you doing, ma?
I'm doing great. Just to say, it's Luisa Kiprano.
Okay.
So it's Luissa. I know a lot of people sometimes do that.
Okay.
Thank you for having me in your show, Timmy.
All right, ma. Firstly, we know you are a physician. You are also a high risk pregnancy specialist. You are also the founder and the CEO of World Gateway Parental Consultant and Dr. Lucia Humanitarian Foundation. Can you walk us through your journey, how you made it, what inspired you to get to this position, and how you are doing currently, ma'am?
So I was born and raised in former communist Romania. I always wanted to become a doctor since I was a fifth grader. And then I came here to the United States when I was 18 years old, and I came for a 2 months visit. I came to visit and get to meet my father. And due to a set of very unfortunate events, my father kept me captive here in the United States. Took my passport away, forced me to stay here in America, and change my name. And I was here kept financially, physically, and emotionally captive for 7 years. And then I succeeded to escape. I became an American citizen. I joined the military, the US Air Force, and then went back to school. And 15 years later, I became a physician. Um, then I became a women's physician, an obstetrician, and gynecologist. And then finished my subspecialty training in high risk pregnancies, which is maternal and fetal medicine. I have my family and I live in southern United States in Texas. I have, two sons, and right now, I have to say that the journey that I took was very, very challenging and very filled with trials, and the fact that I could manage and overcome the trials and thrive. My desire now became twofold. One, as a physician, to help women heal so they can regain their health, but then also through my book, Push Them Breathe, Trauma, Triumph, and the Making of an American Doctor. It's an empowerment platform, okay? Because I want to help humans, women and men, find their inner resources and how to find their true and unlimited potential, not just to survive in life, but thrive.
All right, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Um, I want to ask, are there recent book apart from Push Them Breathe, and are you still planning on other books? And can you still explain further about your book Push and Breathe? And can you just still expatiate a little bit what it's all about, ma?
Yes. So the book, again, it is spans through my first 15 years in the United States. It starts, when I first set foot in America. I was, again, 18 years old. I didn't speak any English. I spoke Romanian, French, and German. I came here by myself, and I had no family except for my father that I barely knew. And no friends, no family, no relatives. So when I came here, my plan was to visit, just like we go visit another country, right? Or another city, then turn around and go back home to my family, to my mom, to my friends, and then that summer I was going to go and take my medical school admission exam, and then go to medical school if admitted. And my father had wildly different plans for me. So he coerced me into changing my name, give me another identity, abused me physically and mentally, and kept me financially captive. I had no money. And that continued for 2,442 days. So 6 years and 8 months. Um, During that time, I had I had to learn the language. I worked a lot of jobs, and all the money would go to my father. And when um, when I finally got to become an American citizen and escape and being able to get a small apartment, I finally, move on. And then I applied to go to my undergrad to start the school process. So that took a while to go, because here in America we have undergrad. So after high school, you have to do an undergraduate degree program of 4 years. I did it in 2 years. Then I joined the military, and I got to medical school through the military. Um, then I um, graduated from medical school, and that is where the book ends, when the day of my graduation from medical school. I think I became a um, high risk pregnancy physician because I had very, very high risk pregnancies myself. And I wanted to impart with women that my journey also as a high risk pregnancy patient, not only a physician. So that really gives a lot of power to me being a coach, but also to be a physician, because if I have to tell my patients, I know what you're going through and I know how you feel and I know how it is to be high risk. Well, I do know. I just don't read that from the books. Just like I tell my readers and my listeners, I know how it feels and it is to walk through this journey and need to get over your shame of abuse, a shame of being used, a shame of being inadequate, a shame from being trafficked, and rise. Because we all have it in us, Timmy. We do. We just have to let go of the past and grab on that dream that we have and not let go. Because can you do something about your past? No. The past is the past. I'm not saying you should forget about the past, but you have to let it go. Because if we don't, the past keeps us bound, keeps us shackled into that misery of we're no good, we are limited, we are broken. And that is not true. We can do better than that. We are powerful, we are strong, we can pick up the pieces and thrive in life and achieve our goal, achieve our dream, achieve our unlimited potential as human beings.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much for that, Ma. And I really felt for that. That was a very, very inspiring story. And I want to also ask, I want you to tell us about your mission. to empower women to find their voice and, fight against inequality, violence, and abuse. Can you expatiate more on that mission, ma?
Yes. So, when we grow up, women and men alike, when we grow up, just remember when you're a kid, right? Just close your eyes and remember when you're a kid. You felt brave, right? You're brave. Look at the kids. They think they can do it all, right? And they are brave and courageous and true to themselves. They don't worry about what that person says or this person says. They just say it, right? So then, as we grow up, something changes in us. Okay. We get influenced, we get biased by our family, our close ones, our friends, our society. And that starts kind of wearing on us. So those thoughts start becoming, you know, deep beliefs and um, deep thoughts that will make us also change our character. And then it becomes a way of life. So we women specifically are very good of doing this, of feeling unworthy, that are feeling that they're no good, that something that we've done or said or acted made us be in the predicament that we get in. Well, those are self-inflicting limitations. And then as we continue in our young adulthood, we start trying to fit in this neat little box, right? That so we can conform to the norms. So that is something that's breaking our spirit. And we need to stop doing that. I saw it on myself as I was going through these challenges in my life. I see it on a lot of women, and it really breaks my heart because we are not meant to fit. We are unique. We are unique individuals, and we are not meant to fit in a tightly, neatly packaged box. So I want to share my story and my journey so people can, and women can understand that the only thing that makes them limiting is them. Just like the only limit we impose on ourselves is the ones that keeps us where we are, keeps us within that box. We are worthy. Our goals matter. Our ideas matter. We matter. So my vision and mission, and really my call to action is to, along or through my story, this horrible story of my life that I had to go through, it really comes to the message that we can overcome. We are destined to overcome. We just have to get out of that mindset that keeps us in that predicament. Um, just like I overcame dependence and abuse, just like a rainbow that arises after storm, they can too, because they have the power. You have the power, just like I had the power. I'm no different. But through these things that I guide myself, and I will share them with you, is what made me get through my dark stages in my life. So one of the things that I go through by is my tenets is find your dream, okay? Find your mission. What drives you? What makes you smile when you think about that dream? What is that dream that gets you going, right? Whether it is, you want to open your own business, your own podcast, you want to write a book, you want to go to school, become an engineer, a teacher, right? A doctor, a lawyer, or have your own farm, anything. that makes you smile and makes your eyes sparkle. Hone into that dream and don't let it go. Second is you have to find your anchors. So, what is that? Think about what you do in the morning, right? What fills your cup? What did you go in? Maybe it's, you know, having a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, maybe going for a walk, maybe going for a run, maybe just looking at the sunrise or the sundown. That is what fills your cup. It makes you feel rejuvenated, feel strong again, gives you the power to go on. That has, in my opinion, because I do it, I never preach what I don't practice. That's your cup. That fills you, gives you the energy to keep going in your darkest of days. And that has to be replenished every single day. Why? Think about your phone. Think about your computer. If you don't plug it in to get battery recharge, it ain't happening, right? Same thing with us. We need that to recharge us. You need us to keep us going. You need us. That's your time, your Zen time to go get that what you need to go keep going. And third is connect with your lighthouse. Who is your lighthouse? Anyone. It could be an animal, a pet, one human out there that you can trust and they listen and you can cry on their shoulder. They will listen. They will cheer you up. Hey, they can even yell at you or give you a kick in the butt. It's okay. The fact is, they are your lighthouse. Is that light that when you can't see light anymore because everything is so dark and dreary, you need to have some like that because the road is twice as hard if you travel alone. I personally, during those hard, dark years, I had a cat. That's all I had. And her name was Suzette, and it's in the book. And she really kept me sane and kept me going. And my mom, I used to call her for a minute every Sunday because I was allowed to speak to her for 1 minute. And she was my lighthouse. So you see, there are things that have to emotionally keep you together because just think of a race, right, Timmy? I may be training. I'm a triathlete. I run long endurance races, right? Well, if I could train all day long, I could be the best in the best physical shape of my life. But if mentally I am not honed in and I don't believe that I can do this, I will not finish the race. So that is my take home and my teaching for your audience in regards in how did I do it? How can I empower others? What my book and my teachings will do for our fellow women and men.
All right, Ma. Thank you very much for that, Ma. I really appreciate you. Um, I would love to ask, what do you think are the most significant forms of gender inequality in our society today?
Um, that I don't know how to start with. I can tell you that from get go, women are not equally seen and viewed and appreciated as men are. As a woman physician, women pay is really, really different than a man's pay. And I'm talking here in the United States, and it's all over the world, but specifically here in the United States, women get about 25% less when they are offered a contract than men. When it comes to also going up the ladder, the corporate ladder, and become from a physician to a medical director to a, like a program chairman or chairwoman, it changes. So, for instance, in my specialty, OBGYN, we are now actually more than men, about 55 to 45 women OBGYN than men. But there are out there specialties that are very male heavily dominated. But and OBGYN is a woman's specialty, right? I mean, it's about a woman's body, whether it's pregnant or not, in all walks of life. But then as you go up the ladder and you try to be a division director or a chief, which is, the whole department of the specialty, they start going less and less and less for women. So, for instance, by the time you get to the very top, it's about 80% men and 20% women in that position. Um, Also, I look at social media. We look at also ads. Everything it's geared to that women image, the perfect women image. What about the natural women image, right? The women that we all know, and women get sucked into this, but also men are looking for that perfect image or that perfect companion or the perfect wife, but it's no such thing. We're just all humans and we come in all shapes and forms. Human, males are abused as much as women are, but in different proportion. Women trafficking, women abuse, women, used as sex objects. It's always through the history has prevailed, and very, very high discrepancy. Although nowadays, with the trafficking, young men are targeted more and more as well. Um, what I believe is that women should be able to come and help each other, spot each other, stay united, and not, discord between themselves, because united you can make a difference, not only between women, but also men in society, right? If you stay united, you can have a voice, and the voice is always a power. And power comes from knowledge and from unity as well.
All right, Ma. Thank you very much for that, Ma. I would also like to ask, have you also observed any changes in societal attitude toward gender roles in recent years? Have you observed any changes there?
Yes, and again, I speak a lot from the United States standpoint. um, we are making strides to make it more even. Okay, now are we like the same like in Denmark? No, we have a lot to go to get there. Like when it comes to equality in gender roles and pay and jobs for women to be accessible the same rate as for men. But we are making a difference slowly. We're getting there. And the reason is because everything is becoming more transparent. Like, the Me Too movement. Before, women were afraid to speak up. And that is my point here. Women think when we are abused or um, we go through a lot of depression or anxiety or things that really, we don't get any breaks. We think, oh, it's just me. I am alone. Nobody else goes through what I go through. So I shouldn't talk about it. Well, it is important to talk about it. It's all important to say, me too. Yes, this is happening to me. This has happened to me as well. How can we fix this? So you see, when you start opening and showing you're vulnerable, Your vulnerability will give you strength because others will hear you say that and say, oh, my God, this happened to me too. I thought I was alone. How many times didn't you go through that, Timmy? You as a man, didn't you have this like, oh, something bad happened? It's like, oh, I can't talk about it. It's probably just me that I'm going through it. What would people think if they hear? They will think I'm weak. No, there will people will be like, oh my God, this happened to him too. Let me say something about it. And now you have two, and then you have three, and then you have six. Then you have a power because now you have a group that say, this is happening. Listen to what I'm having to say because this is important and should not keep going. So that's what it's sensitivity, opening up, showing your vulnerability, and being transparent. It's not going to hurt you. Actually, it's going to help you because it's helping us realizing that the more we speak up, the more we'll have a place at a table. And sooner or later, in the beginning, yeah, people may dismiss me because I'm one. But when you have 10 or 100 or 1,000, people can dismiss that and they're going to stop and listen, and changes will have to happen.
All right, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. Lastly, I would like to ask generally when it comes to inequality and other things involving the world we are living today, what advice can you bring out, to the fellow audience? What advice can come through your mind that you could say currently, ma'am?
That um, my advice is that when it comes to that, when it comes to inequality, when it comes to your rights, when it comes not only to you, but also to your children, right? You are you are thinking that not it's not only for me, it's for my family, it's for my heritage. It's for my children and grandchildren that I have to stand up and speak for myself. That is when you feel the most empowered. Because now it's just think about it, Timmy. Let's just say you go for a swim, okay? And you kind of, it's in the ocean, and I've had it happen to me, by the way. So it's an ocean, and you feel like, oh my God, what about if I drown? What about if this sea is too much for me? And then you start ruminating, right? And then all of a sudden, as you start ruminating, you sight there is this person a little further away that is struggling for help, is drowning. Guess what happens? You forget about your old worries, right? It's like, gosh, that kid, that person, that human, it's about to drown. I must save him. So here you are, starting to swim towards that person, try to save him, bring him to back to the beach on the shore. Guess what? Did you see how you shifted? You're no longer ruminating about your own problems because now you have a higher purpose. The new higher purpose is to save that person. And same thing here. You don't do this only for you. You do it for your family, your generation, your children, and really for humanity, for that person next to you. And that gives you the strength. That gives me the strength. Because if I can change one person, if I can help another woman get out of her inequality, get out of her limitations, get out of her abusive situation, to help her thrive, I achieve my role in the world. I achieve my dream because I've been there. And due to some people who gave me a chance, who stopped and listened, who gave me a second chance to go to school, who offered me a spot in that medical school, in that residency. Those people, as a community, help me, so I want to help them. I do humanitarian missions. I am a medical humanitarian doctor. When I don't when I don't work as a physician in the United States, And I go around the world and teach my residents, teach other doctors, teach midwives. I'm going to Kenya next February to teach the residents at Penwick. So these are things that I do, and I love doing it. It's my cup. It's one of my cups, except including my running. But to leave you with this thought au- uh, for your audience, for yourself, for all people there, embrace the possibilities that you have, that your life offers. Overcome and influence the world because it's your world and you can do it.
All right, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. And lastly, there's a question I normally ask from the ancestors, from the forefathers, from people from the past. If there is anything you will have loved to be, you would love to bring back to our present time today, what do you think that thing would be, Ma?
Um, I would like to tell you a small story. It's in the book, but there is this one thing in life that when you are in your darkest moment, there will be one thing that will change your life and it will give you the opportunity to achieve the heights you want to achieve. So the story goes like this. It was a year after I escaped from my father's cage. I was an American citizen and I brought my mom to visit me from the first time here in the United States. It was the Thanksgiving week, the Thanksgiving day, and we just came from the Mass, from the church Mass. We're walking. It was cold and snowy out there. And we're talking about anything and everything. I personally, I was struggling with a lot of work and a lot of, you know, trials of living the life now as a free person. And my mom stopped right there in that path and asked me one question. What about your school, Luisa? What about your dream?
Hmm.
So, Timmy, that question, I don't know her, but it was there present because that question was in my mind, but I refused to see it. But she asked me the question and it froze me. It's like I fell into a frozen lake and it stunned me. And I turned back and I said, what about it, Mom? Don't you see I can barely survive? I can barely live from one day to another. And you know
Hmm.
what, Timmy? She didn't say anything else. Not that day, not that month, not ever. But when she left in January, about 2 weeks later, I applied to my undergrad school
Hmm.
and I got accepted to start my road to become a doctor. Now, do you see? It's just that one question made me believe that I can do it. To make me take ownership of something that I refuse to take on. And I was also refusing to see it, right? So, what I am saying is never give up. It's okay to pause, but to pause, to, to get yourself together, to get the force, the inner force to keep going, but don't give up. Because looking back without that question, at that time, in that moment, to make me realize that it's all up to me to make this happen,
Hmm.
I would have never been where I'm here now.
All right, Ma. I want to appreciate you. And lastly, I want to personally say I really love you. I really love you, Ma. And I want to appreciate you for your time and your efforts. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you. And I really appreciate your time. And I God bless you. I wish that everyone has the strength and the fortitude and to do what you do to impart all the people. And I was very honored when I, heard that you are interested to have me in your show. And I'm going to keep that very near and dear to my heart.
All right, ma. Bye bye. I love you.
I love you too. Take care, Timmy.